component.
All right, just started.
Okay. So it's going to cut off all of my important stuff that I just said. And so I have been doing these trainings at different groups for probably the past 12 years. And social media it started in 2007, and the trainings consisted of, don't be afraid, you can do it. And so before we really start, I'd like Keith to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Keith. I'm the social media manager here at Uptown Studios. And yeah, I look forward to talking about some of the ins and outs with you, but I would repeat what Tina said. Really, the biggest thing with social media is just get in there, get in there and get your hands dirty. And remember, it's free and it's fun. So
well, sometimes it's free. You do have to pay a little bit now.
It starts out that way. It starts out free to get involved, get some experience, start building your community. I want to point out real quick, I don't know how experienced you all are at Zoom. We're going to share screen in a minute. At the bottom of your Zoom screen under reaction, you should see something called reactions, and there is a raise hand feature. Feel free to chime in if you have questions. If you feel like you're having trouble catching someone's attention or getting your turn to ask a question, raise your hand and we'll try to watch for that and call on you. So with that said, shall I go ahead and share screen?
Yes,
and we'll get started.
We're going to start. Let's just get going.
All right. So
I gave a little bit of overview of Uptown Studios. Let's go to the next slide.
All right.
So Facebook 101, this is a basic training that we're going to go into, which is really just talking about the why Facebook is important. And I'm going to let Keith go through these little steps here.
One of the things I want to say about Facebook right off the top, because there's a lot of talk about it lately, is Facebook's not the hot new player right now. TikTok is. Facebook is still immensely important. And if you look at the statistics and where people are spending their time online, Facebook is still a powerhouse. There are certain demographics that you're going to catch better on TikTok. I recommend using all the social platforms you're able to use, but I think somebody would really be missing an opportunity to count Facebook out or to not think that it's still a great way to reach people.
I think that Facebook has something like 86% of the population that have Facebook accounts, and Twitter is like 28. I mean, it really drops. I mean, Facebook has such a huge share. And they also own Instagram, so that they have those people also. So Facebook is a worthy venture when you're thinking about reaching target audience. Almost everybody has a page.
And the way that they've integrated Facebook and TikTok together is fantastic as well. When I place an ad on one, it usually advertises across both of them if I've linked the accounts. So yeah, in the process of this, we'll cover social media strategy, the difference between a profile and a business page, community building, engagement. We can talk a little bit about who uses Facebook, best practices, and Facebook ads. So go ahead and go to the next slide. So let's talk about your social media strategy. Did you want to say anything on that, Tina, before I jump in?
Other than you should write down what you want your goals and objectives to be, because if you don't write them down, you're just not going to remember them. You're going to go in and just be posting on social media and not really know if you're being successful or if it's a failure, if one ad works better than the other. What we're really going to talk about is write down what your goals and objectives are. If you have 300 followers right now, maybe one of your goals is to get to 1,000 in 3 months. But if you don't write down that you're at 300 now, you're not going to know when you've reached, how much you have increased. So what I really want you to do is to think of this as part of your business marketing plan and to create a little bit of a strategy.
And I think the last thing on this list relates so importantly back to the first thing on this list. Set your goal and then monitor and check how you're doing on moving towards your goal. Set aside a little time to do that once a week to kind of, or more, to look at your stats and to see where you're at, how you're adding people, what's working and what's not. So then you want to, go ahead, Tina.
I do. The knowing who your target audience is super important. If you design everything for yourself, you're marketing only to yourself. and your target audience may be, let's say it's the car washing business. Maybe your target audience is people that own vehicles that are valued at $50,000 or more. You need to know what the value is so that you're really targeting those people on your paid ads, and you can find them if you know who they are and some of the aspects of that target audience. Okay.
And Tina, do you have any advice on how someone figures out who their target audience is?
Well, yeah, I think that most people start because when I first started my business, it was if you work somewhere, you're my target audience, because marketing is so important to businesses. So if you work at a business, then you're a potential client for me. But since I started, I've learned so much more about marketing. My target audience now is nonprofits, small business, and government and state agencies. And so by being able to define them into those 4 or 5 categories, I really can set up a marketing campaign that's specific to small business. And let's say I define my small business target audience as they have under 20 employees, their annual billing is 2 million or less, and I'll go through and I'll tag those kinds of things for who my target audience is, so that I'm reaching that sweet spot that I can really help.
And in the automated advertising, they use something called Lookalike Audiences.
Yep.
It's really affected the way that I think about audiences, because once I do have people that I know they're my audience because they're actually already my customers, then I look at them and I say, oh, they all seem to be within this same age group, or a lot of them live in this area. And then I know to target people that live in that area, because if they're likely to be buying my product, so is their neighbor. If people in this age group are liking my product, great, let's go after other people in that
age group. If it's all women, then to go to all women.
Right. You can have a goal to expand and try to find out how you can reach more men, but you can also say, hey, women like us, let's run with that. And use that to your advantage. Plan your messages. Okay, so this one is huge. People always say, well, I sit down to post on Facebook and I don't know what to post. And the secret is to get yourself going on a roll. It is always hardest to get those first couple, but once you write those first couple, don't stop. Right? A dozen of them, right?
There's another way to do these plans, is to take a calendar, and it's like May is bike month in Sacramento. So maybe you want to have a theme that runs through your regular posts that's about riding your bike, or taking pictures of your staff on their bike, or maybe it is National Women's Health Month or Breast Cancer Month, or any of those national month of, and you can find those by searching National Month of, and it'll come up with a calendar that tells you what the national month of it is. So you're finding these themes, and then you want to tag your whole calendar with what you're going to talk about on each month. Doesn't mean that that's all you talk about, but it helps you to develop some themes. It's like it really can help you to find content and to generate content that's interesting to your audience.
Social media managers love those calendars. And
yes.
How things are like something ridiculous like National Peanut Butter Day. I'll have 3 different clients that respond so differently to that, but it's relevant. All of maybe one of them, they're about hiking and they're like, peanut butter is a great protein source on the trail that's lightweight. Someone else is more of a confectioner and they're like, hey, peanut butter cups on sale today. The same thing can be used so many different ways, but
and you can have fun with it too. My favorite day of the year is Talk Like a Pirate Day. And there's a National Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr, matey.
Fun unless you work for Tina, and then she makes you batten down the hatches and scrub the guy. I said, I'm not even good at talking like a pirate. I thought I could run with that.
Scrub the deck.
Scrub the deck. That's what I was going to say. Plank. No, you walk the plank.
Walk the plank.
But I like to sit and plan all these messages out and write a whole month's worth if I can in advance. It doesn't mean that I can't add others during the month when inspiration hits, but I don't rely on inspiration. I don't rely on every day being able to think of something. I try to plan them all out in advance. And then you can use, there's things like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, or even Facebook Business have calendars that allow you to schedule posts in advance. And then when you can look at the calendar and say, if I do nothing for the rest of the month, I have 3 posts going out a week.
Yeah.
I have 5 posts going out a week.
Yeah.
And that helps keep your momentum going even when you get too busy doing other things, which.
Yeah. And Hootsuite, HOOTSUITE is free. So it's a tool for you to plan out your whole week or your whole month, or however much time you have. The way that we like to think of planning out your, yeah.
No. I'm not sure if that's
okay.
for us or not.
Okay, no, Patricia, I think your speaker is on. So as planning your posts, and then it's like Keith said, then you have some time that you don't have to worry about it. It's already done. If you miss it, oh, I know, I was saying, plan on like 2 hours a week to manage your social media, and you'll have enough time, because it gives you a whole 2 hours on one day, and you can really plan and get into a groove rather than 15 minutes here and 10 minutes there and 15 minutes there and 20 minutes there. If you can take a 2-hour chunk out of your week, you can pretty much get your whole schedule done. And
I generally will write things that occasionally I write something really long that's just for Facebook, but usually I try to write things the length of a tweet. One, because shorter, usually people are more likely to read it. And then I schedule it to post to Facebook and Twitter at the same time. And if it's something that'll work with a visual, I go ahead and schedule it for Instagram also. And then I have my Instagram set up to post any photos that I post on Instagram over to Facebook and share them as well. So you can hit multiple platforms at once. And there is a tip on that. What you might want to do is them up slightly so that you're not repeating to the same followers that you have on Twitter as Facebook, as Instagram. So maybe you post a photo of yourself in a pirate's outfit today on Facebook, but you might want to post that on next Monday on Twitter, or you might shift it around so that it is not bombarding people with the same message on the same day.
I have a question. If we have, are we taking questions now, or do we wait till after?
Tina, if you answered, I think you're muted. Erica, I could barely hear you. I think you were asking if you can ask questions as we go. Please do.
Okay, great. I have a question. I don't know if it has to do with algorithm or not, but these are great ideas. However, I wanted to know if there was a specific time of the day that we would want to make these posts, morning versus evening. Do I make them the night before? So that was my question.
There's a cat. You know what? I wonder if we can we go to our Facebook Live analytics and look in the back end so that we can show people how to find the time when people are on?
I actually don't know how to get there quickly.
Oh, okay. All right. So
but
Erica, there are analytics in the back end of Facebook where it'll tell you when your audience is online, and it'll be a graph, and it'll say Monday, it starts down here and it grows up to here, and there's your peak time, which is maybe 2:30 on Monday, but it's your audience, it's not my audience, which is important so that you're looking at your own audience.
Absolutely. And there are all kinds of guides to the best times to post to different platforms. But the best are when someone like Facebook is catering it towards your specific audience. I used to like to do what I called nighttime tweeting, because I got out of the busiest time for Twitter, and I found that I grabbed more audience members for myself because there was less competition. So it's something to play with as well. Irene, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, and I was just going to add to that, that if you do use something like Hootsuite, when you go to schedule it, it will tell you the prime times to post. Yes. Or when the majority of people are on that particular social media platform that you're using. So it's not the same as seeing your own algorithms of your people, but technically if you're trying to reach outside of your people,
yes,
then you'd want to know the prime times of all the people.
All the people. That's right. That's right. If you're, and it depends on who you're marketing to. If it's your existing audience and people like them, then you're going to find out what Facebook is telling you when they're on. That's great, Irene. Thanks for sharing.
Yep. Yeah. And I know Sprout Social has that as well, where it shows you optimum times, rates them on a scale of 5 to 1 for the best times to post. The next thing on the list is make time to engage. This, unfortunately, you can't do in advance. But if you could set aside, and in the beginning, if it's taking you more than 15 minutes to 30 minutes, that's actually a good problem. It means you've got a lot of engagement going on. Go in and reply to people's comments. And sometimes my replies are as simple as thank you, I'm glad you're enjoying it, or wonderful to hear from you. But that's where you start building a sense of community, and you engage back with people, you answer people's questions, you look for the comments and the replies, and you can go reply to other related businesses, to businesses that you co-work with, to, you know, and reply as your page, and that makes you involved in this online community. And like I said, you don't have to give a ton of time to that every day. There's 2 ways to do it. You can set aside a little block to do that every day, or you can set alerts on your phone so that it beeps you whenever someone comments, and then you can reply immediately in real time.
Well, one of the things with social media is that I want you all to know that it's called social media, which means you're not just a broadcaster. You're not just throwing things out there and throwing things out there. It's like Keith will talk a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit, and we're being social, and we're respecting each other's time limits, and we're responding to each other. So on social media, all of the channels, you want to be as social as you can be. So that paying attention to engagement time is just as important as Keith just said.
And then people do worry about the trolls or the negative comments that you leave yourself open to on social media. And I've heard a lot of different strategies for dealing with them, but personally, I don't worry about them too much. I delete them and block them and they're done. I don't feed them. I don't engage them. If someone I feel like has a legitimate complaint or something that I've heard before, even if they're not as polite about it as they should be, maybe I'll try to give them a polite answer and see if it helps them. But I won't engage and have big fights going on my page. I just shut that down pretty quickly. Part of that also depends on the nature of your page. I know there's people that's what they love on their page. And I've actually on my personal page been accused of hosting fights, but sometimes it's fun to get spirited political debate. But again, I ask people no name calling, don't be rude. And for some reason that gets a lot of the attention on social media. As a social media manager, it's pretty rare and it's a really small part of what I do. The main thing I say about trolls is just don't feed them. So, because someone else will, and someone else will draw their attention really quickly if you're not giving it to them.
And it can explode and it can get ugly so quickly. It's so much better just to block and ignore.
Yeah.
But it's like he said, if there's a legitimate issue that somebody's having with your product or services, you want to address that online right away, in person to them. It's like, I am so sorry you had a negative experience. I'm going to message you privately so that you'll give me a call and we can talk through this. And then you let everybody see that. Maybe
Right.
You're not posting your number to everybody, but you're saying to the person that had an issue, I am going to react on this really quickly and take care of you.
I recently had a comment on a video on YouTube, which is also a really good social platform. People don't realize how much of a social platform it is. But I had a comment that said, I'm 3 minutes in and this video is boring. And I just commented, oh, you got to hang on to minute 5, it's worth it. And the guy said, haha, I'll give it a try. And it became it went from an unfriendly comment to a friendly comment because I just gave him a nice friendly response. So,
Okay.
Monitoring and evaluating progress, we mentioned that at the top, but also some of these things like Sprout Social and Hootsuite and Facebook Business help you do that. They're great ways to quickly look and see what your statistics look like. Facebook constantly, even under every post you do when you have pages going, will tell you that this is getting less or more engagement than most of your posts. You can see which posts are your best. And you keep an eye on that. That's what lets you know what's working.
Yeah, don't waste time on things that aren't working. And you can only do that if you're paying attention. If you post 2 ads, You're going to want the one that's really getting all of the results and get rid of the one that's not. So you're only putting money into the thing that's getting results.
But, do put 2 ads. This is a huge part of what we do is A/B testing.
A/B testing. It's like
put out a lot so you can see what works, and then let the stuff that works rise to the top.
This is one of my favorite rules for social media. 1/3 of your post should be about who you are and what you do. It's like I want Keith to post 1/3 of his posts about Uptown Studios. We do websites, we do graphics, we do copywriting. It's like about us. We hired a new employee. One of our employees had a baby. Whatever it is, it's about Uptown Studios. Another third is about our industry. Here's a great article from Pantone talking about the new colors that are coming in. We didn't write it, we're just sharing it, but it's about what we do. Here's 10 of the websites created in the US, and there's a link. It's those kinds of things that are about our business, but not about us. The third that is the most important, because social media is social, is to post things that are just for fun. It's photos of me at an event with other people. We didn't create the logos, we didn't do anything, but we're showing up in our community having fun. Here's a picture of us on our bikes for May is Bike Month. Here's it's not about design, it's just about our team. Here's a dachshund race. Check this out. This has just made me laugh so hard I had to share it. Those kinds of things are your personality, and you get people to like you. If you have I have a golden doodle. If I show a picture of my golden doodle, I always get comments on that. If I have a cat video and I put it up, I'm always going to get comments on the cat video, where all my other things don't get so many comments. But they're reacting to my personality and the company's personality. And that's who you want to work with. You want to work with somebody that's showing some of their personality. Really important. And it really works.
Tina shared with me a video of her eating cake. And she just, because it was funny, it's what she was doing at the moment. And I immediately said, can I share this? Because I knew that it was social media gold. And the reason I bring it up is that we're a professional studio. We have graphic artists. We have really good camera equipment. But this was a silly video shot on her phone, and it did great. And it got tons of likes across all these different platforms because it was real. And I think the most valuable thing you have is reality, is the realness. That's what's going to stop people scrolling. You could have a great designer, you could have great design, but when people see your dog licking your face and you laughing, or see you eating cake and doing a goofy smile with one of your teeth blacked out with chocolate frosting, they're going to stop, because that's engaging and it's funny. So in that 1/3, there are things that you want to keep in mind as far as how you present yourself and what you're saying about yourself and your company. A guy at a certain guitar shop in town started sharing all his Trump stuff and with his Trump hat. And what he found out was that really alienated a lot of his clients that he didn't realize it was going to, and it blew up in his face. But Tina eating cake, that's not going to lose her anyone. There's not going to be some apple pie lover who's going to be like, cake, never. I won't work with Uptown Studios.
Where's the pie?
So have a good time and be real and put some personality out. And I beg my clients to share with me photos of their kids, their dogs. Dogs are gold. Cats are gold on social media. People do posts where they just say, I'm in a terrible mood, please share pet pictures. They're begging for it. And then say, this is our person who's in charge of sales in West Sacramento's Labrador Retriever, who loves to splashes water all over the place. And then profiles of your employees. Let people get to know your team. We share pictures of us from our meetings, pictures that show us working and having fun together. And whenever I have clients that do that, they get a great response. People feel like they know you, they feel like they know your team. And for some reason, it's something that I have to beg clients to do. I think they're always worried about sharing the professional thing, the highly produced thing. And they're like, oh, this is just a picture I took on my phone. That picture you took on your phone is gold. because no one can
Okay.
fake that.
Keith, I just shared it with you on Slack. See if you can open that up and share it. And this to show you, this is like, I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself. It's the real deal.
All
And then-
right.
I think that you can do it.
All right, are we seeing it?
Okay, play it.
Huh, how do I get it to play?
There should be the arrow on it somewhere.
Yeah, but for some reason there's not.
Huh.
It's sending it as just a picture.
Oh, okay. All
It's a
right. Well,
JPEG.
oh, I just took a shot. Anyway, that was me eating the cake. That was me eating the cake. You missed the good part, which is when I smile and I have chocolate all over my teeth. Anyway, just be real. Don't be afraid to be real. I think that is, and have fun with it. And people are going to just enjoy the hell out of you so much more. And they're going to be drawn to you because you're showing some of your realness.
Yeah. Yeah, realness is everything, and you can't go buy it from Adobe stock. I
No,
mean,
it can't be a stock photo.
right. So, and we use a fair amount of stock photos, and they have their place, but usually I use them because I couldn't get the client to send me a picture that they snapped on their phone that would have been less professional, less good lighting, and would get way more likes and views.
Yeah.
So personal versus business page. This is something that's changed in the last few years. You have to have a personal page on Facebook in order to have a business page. So do all of you know how to create a business page?
Let's see, raise your hand if you know how to create a business page.
So I'll just, yeah, it's very simple, and you can Google real quick how to create a business page, how to create a page on Facebook. But basically you have to have a personal profile first, and you just go in to pages. It'll be on the left column. You might have to hit see more and then hit pages, and then you'll see an option for create a new page. I have a business on the side where I do stand-up comedy. I put a lot of attention into my personal page, and I built my brand on my personal page. And I sure regret that, because I hit that 5,000 person cap and I can't add any more people. So now I'm building up my business page. It's up to 4,000. I still haven't passed what I spent all that time doing on my personal page. So I so wish that I would have taken my own advice and created a business page sooner. So, and it's,
the good thing about that is that everything you do on social media, you're learning, and it's
Right.
a never-ending learning opportunity, because there's always going to be something new that you have to do, and there's always going to be a new way to do it, and you learn by doing. So the big thing here is to just get in there and start doing it, and you're going to learn as you go. There's lots of channels that'll teach you how to do things the right way, but sometimes learning as you go is the best lesson ever.
So when you have a page, you are able to get better analytics from Facebook about what's going on your page. You're going to have better access to advertising. You're going to be able to add more than 5,000 people. I think it looks more professional. And then one of the biggest differences is you might at some point hit a place where you want to hire someone like us to come in and take care of your page for you. And in the old days, people would actually give us their login and their password to Facebook. And who wants to do that? You know, so now you can, through a page, you can name someone as an admin on your page. Later, if you guys split that relationship, you can take them back off again, and it leaves you in control, but allows someone else to work with you to help you make your page.
Right.
Yeah, you had a question, Irene?
Yeah, is there a way to make your page without linking it to your personal profile? So that's the problem we have now. And when people leave, there's something in Facebook where the person becomes the page owner, and we can't figure out how to remove that person. And that person's gone. So even though I have admins in there that can do stuff, I can't remove that page owner. And we're all linked personally to the page.
Right. So that's a tricky one. If you own your own business, it's a little easier. There are ways to switch owners and to name a new owner. You might need the cooperation of the person that left in order to do it. So
They
sometimes,
tried.
pardon me?
They tried, but they couldn't figure out how to get it out of their name.
Yeah. Do you have an agency working with you, or they just
Originally? And I think that what's going to happen is I'm going to have to go back to that agency and say, how did you put that page owner in there? Because the person's name who's in there can't even get it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you'll have to do, because since they're the original owner, they're gonna have to go in and do it.
Yeah.
So
And
would you suggest making a page that's, for instance, so I'm in our MARCOM group, marketing communications group, making a MARCOM or MARCOM
Yeah,
page and linking it to that so that it's a generic page, and then, you know, as employees leave, we can just remove them as admins.
yeah, this is where I think Facebook made an odd decision to make you link it to a personal page. And in a sense, they are to want to create what would be essentially like a gray page, like what you're talking about, where you're making a fake profile just to man that page. Give the fake profile a realistic name so no one reports it as a fake profile, and then
Right.
maybe send Facebook an ID.
Right.
Maybe even use your real name in case that comes up, but have it separate from your other real profile that you actually use. And then this is one that you can be comfortable sharing the login
Right.
on it. I can tell you that I've done it a couple of times, and I remember each time it was like hours of frustration of trying different ways that. The other thing about Facebook is that they change so quickly that sometimes you find instructions from them and the instructions are out of date.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky one. Tina, did you have any advice on that?
you can set it up with a dummy email, but it's always better to have one of your trusted employees that's there. And if they leave, hopefully you haven't fired them and everything's gone awry, that you're keeping logins and passwords for that special page. You know, it's stuff that's really technical and difficult. Marina, you had a question.
Yeah, I had a suggestion because this was a problem I ran into at my previous job. So what I did, I have a personal Facebook page, and I didn't want to be posting on behalf of the company on that personal Facebook page with my family and friends. So I did make a Facebook page that had my name, but had a hyphen and then the company name. And then when I did leave, I left on great terms. And so I did switch it over to someone else, and they were able to use that page to post. So making a page that is just connected to that is helpful. But if you don't leave on good terms and don't have the cooperation, then it is difficult.
Yeah.
The problem that I'm running into is that everybody that you assign as an admin is somebody with their own personal Facebook page.
Right.
But we don't want our own personal Facebook page linked to that page because it has access to a lot of your data, and you can put your preferences, but there's a minimal amount that they will accept that you don't give them, and the rest you have to give them. So what I'm trying to do is make it so there's a company page with a company login, and whoever needs to go to that page is going to use the company login, not their own personal page, to access the page. And that way it eliminates all personal use, and it keeps the page with the company, and there's one username and login, and that's it.
And maybe you set it up as social media at your company logo or your company URL.
Yeah.
And then that social media page is the personal page. And Katya, you had a question.
Well, it's just a suggestion. I think Marina said a little bit about it. You can create a central company email too, for social media, and also to remove that person, and she needs to, or he needs to give you full access. And then after it gives you full access, you're gonna be able to remove it. This person. That will be on the settings. They have support system too, the Facebook, You can ask them directly to see if they can help you with it if you don't have access.
Yeah, I'll
to
have
the
to do that
same.
because I have full access and I still can't remove the person. It's like locked in.
Yeah, we got the same problem
gets
with the
crazy.
previous employee, so I think it will be better to ask them for support.
Okay,
Yeah,
we only have,
Thank you.
we have about 15 minutes left, so let's go to I want to get through most of this. Best practices, we talked a little bit about the number of times, 3 to 6 times a week. Photos and videos. And then the next line is videos, animated GIFs, videos, and more videos. Videos are where you want to be. If you can create some motion graphics and put those in, even better. The more movement you have in your posts, the better that people are going to look at it. You want to keep your post short, like Keith mentioned. If you can keep it the length of a tweet, it's usually better because people aren't going to read that much more anyway. And make sure that the content is engaging. At Uptown Studios, we have a mantra. It has to be easy to do. It has to look like fun, and it makes you more popular. Easy, fun, and popular. If you have those 3 items on every one of your posts, you're going to be very engaging. It's easy to do. It looks like fun, and you're going to be more popular. I am easy, fun, and popular, but I'm not cheap.
I see 2 hands up. Suzanne, yeah, I hope I didn't blow your name.
Azucena, yeah, I just wanted to say, sorry, someone's vacuuming outside, but on my artist page, I have Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, but I have noticed that I really need to do more, but whenever I do, I put videos like time-lapse videos of the process of what I make, and
Great.
I found that been like, that's when I get the most interactions from people. I just have to.
So when it's telling you do more of that, it's telling you exactly what your audience wants. So do more of that. And
Yeah.
all of you can do the same thing.
And there's multiple reasons for that. One is that it is engaging and people are interested in it. But another reason is that if you go to these social platforms and you use all the different ways they give you to post, if you use stories, if you use reels, they're competitive with each other and they want you to use those. So they'll reward you with the algorithm. They set it up to promote the people that are using all the things. So if you see, like, Facebook and Instagram are saying all the time, hey, why not post a story? Hey, why not post a reel? Do those things they're asking you to do, and they'll be happy with you and reward you, and you'll get better performance in the algorithm.
Yeah.
So not only are people enjoying it more, they're putting it in front of them so they get a chance to enjoy it more.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Real quick about how to be engaging. Questions are good. Invite people to participate by asking them a question. That's one way to be engaging and get people involved. Let's talk about paid advertising on Facebook.
You have to pay if you're going to grow your accounts. You just have to. When we started in 2007, everything was free. And that went away quickly because they started becoming a big gorilla in the social media realm. You have to pay, but the secret is you don't have to pay a lot. You could have $25 a week. That's your budget for your paid ads. And you pick that video that is that time-lapse video of you doing the artwork, and you put $5 behind it and find your target audience and see how many new people that you get. And it may be well worth the $5 that you're spending on any of you. Go ahead.
You're not just paying for them to see the video. You're paying and they're becoming part of your community. So they're going to see more of your organic posts. So the paid and the organic work off of each other really well. Our best clients do a nice mix of both, and their page keeps growing because of the paid media, and then their organic media does better and reaches more people.
Yeah. Organic posts are better than the paid ones. Because it means that people are really interested, but the paid ones get more people to see the organic.
Exactly. And so many options for how you place a paid ad. You can just boost one of your posts that's already popular. You may ask, why boost it if it's already popular? Well, boosting it's going to show it to people that haven't liked your page. Whereas otherwise it's mostly just going to reach people that like your page and maybe their friends. You can also go into the ad center, and it has so many great automations where it's going to ask you, what is your goal? Are you trying to increase followers? Are you trying to get people to your website? And they're really effective in how they apply those goals to the strategy.
It's a really great place to spend some of your time, is figuring out how to set up your ads and seeing all of the options that Facebook gives to you, and they help you. They help guide you. It's like, if you add that category, you're not going to have enough people that are going to see this. So you go back and you change the category to a bigger zip code, right? But they really guide you through it, and it's going to get you the real meat of how to reach those sweet people that are going to click on your ad, or they're going to leave a comment, or they're going to order something from you.
And the big thing with that is I would say, don't be afraid, because for a long time I was reluctant to jump in. Jump in with $5 as part of your learning process. You're spending $5 to get a free Facebook lesson in how to do advertising.
Yeah.
And with those $5 ads, you'll start getting a feel for it. So then down the road, you're ready to drop 20 on it, drop 50 on it, because now you're starting to know how it works and know how to get the biggest reward. But it's cheap to get in and start learning. Patricia?
Yes, sorry, I don't have my camera on.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. I have a question. What do you guys think about the people that send, like, messages saying that they'll advertise for you?
Well, you're paying them to advertise for you.
Yeah.
As a small business, I think one of the best things to do ever is to learn what it is you have to do and grow your business until you get so big that you have to hire somebody. But you know what the criteria is by that time.
But I'm talking the ones that people like, I don't even understand them. They say that if I pay, I don't know, 35, they'll promote 5 posts and they'll give you followers and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it makes sense. My question makes sense.
No, it does. A lot of the where you can buy followers, a lot of them are from click farms and they're illegitimate followers. And there's actually sites out there that will rate how many of your followers are real and how many aren't. So if they're offering, I have
a story. I had a client that had us managing their social media, and we were finding people that were real clients doing real business with them. And he said it was going too slow. And so he went to one of these people that said that they'll find followers. And we went into the back end, they got 5,000 followers in a month, and 95% of them were in Turkey.
Right.
Didn't do him a bit of good, not one bit of good. So you really have to be careful, because they're clickbaiting you with with those big numbers, and they may not do a thing for your business.
But you can, when you place ads with Facebook, say that your goal is to get more followers. And if you want to spend that $35, instead of giving it to them, give it directly to Facebook, and they will legitimately help you get followers within the demographics that would actually make up your customers. If you're someone that mostly does business in Sacramento, you don't need 5,000 followers in Turkey.
Yeah, you just don't. You don't need it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Digital ads are essential to online marketing strategies. They are essential. You have to have a website, and you have to have a social media presence. And then everything else, you can work from home, you can be on Zoom meetings, and everything else kind of falls into place. But if you don't have those two things that look professional, your business is going to struggle to be successful.
So in the illustration, if you look, the two that say view promotion, it's because they have ads running on them. They can just be promoted posts, boosted posts, or they could be actual ads. But look at the difference in the kind of engagement they're getting. It's 1.1 thousand compared to these other double-digit numbers. So when they have to start using that K to tell you how many people are engaging, that's a good sign. Yeah. Irene?
But just like the other resources, how do we know it's in our own network?
You would know because you're placing the ads yourself, and you're defining your zip code, you're defining your target audience. You're really telling them what is your project? What is your company, Irene?
We're consultants.
That leadership consultants.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you know that you want to go to corporate America, or unless it's all California. Let's say it's all California. You want to find all the corporations that have X amount of leaders. So it would be a company that generates 5 million and up. They have over 100 employees, and 25 of those are leadership. I mean, so you're starting to define and build a persona for who it is that you want to connect with, and you're building that into your Facebook ads. So it's only going to go to those people. So you really are defining.
And you will get fake followers, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The idea is to keep that percentage low.
Yeah.
When you use these sites to rate how many of your followers are legitimate, it's never 0% are fake, because that's big business. I mean, there's countries where I think a big part of their economy is based on these click farms.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in there, but you're still reaching your people. And Facebook's really good about helping you to actually reach your people. And Facebook has had to put millions of dollars into doing that and not feeding the click farms.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's a constant game of cat and mouse there, and they're better at doing it than the guy who's offering to do it for 35 bucks.
Yeah. All right, we did that one.
Right.
Oh, monitor and evaluate your progress. You really have to look at it and generate your monthly reports. Facebook will allow, all of the social media channels will allow you to generate end of month report. And then what we do is we set it up in Google Docs month to month, and then we look at how we're doing. I look at it for Uptown Studios every month. How are we doing? We went down in this category, but we went up in this category. We went down because it was the holidays and nobody was looking at, but we're looking at it and we're talking about it. And you should too, because that's the only way that you know if you're growing. Before social media in 2007, 95% of my clients knew me, had met me, or knew somebody from our office. In 2007, with the social media channels, and we improved the search engine optimization on our website, now it is 60% of my clients come from online, and I don't know them before they call me. And 40% are because maybe you saw me at a training like this, but it changed my business. So now I feel like I'm getting all these free clients that I didn't have to work so hard for. Of course, I'm doing search engine optimization, have a good website, and we have a strong presence in social media.
And it says here to plan based off of what worked. You can get some surprises there, and some of it goes against the intelligence out there. I'm telling you that short posts are what you want, but I try a couple long ones here and there, and I do have some clients where, because of the nature of what they do, the long posts are what people like. I have a client that deals with environmental issues and energy, and it's very dry stuff, and it can be hard to put fun into it. But the few times we manage to be fun and to be funny, huge response. So then I said, hey, why don't we buy a couple of cartoons a month? There are sites where you can go pay to be able to use cartoons, and it gives credit to the creator. It's good for everyone. And their client base loves it because we saw that the fun posts were working. Mm-hmm. Almost every client I have, I can show them that when I post a picture of them, their employees, their pets, any real photo, as I said earlier, it works and they get a bump. And that's when I can finally start convincing them to do it. If they do it once, I can show them, look what worked last month. It was that picture of you and your wife out to dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
okay, we got to go to the next slide.
Yep, it's our last one.
Oh, there it is. Okay, to receive a copy of this, email Keith. And are there any other questions? We have 4 minutes. Go.
Get it out there.
Get it out there. I think that the biggest thing is to be an active participant in your social media and an active participant on your website. If your search engine, if you have a website and you wonder how you're doing, send me an email and I'll run a full site review and I'll send it to you for free. Tina@uptownstudios.net. And then you can see how your search engine optimization is working, and it'll tell you things that you can do to improve your site. That and social media changed my business. In 2007, I had 8 employees. Today I have 20. I hadn't broken $1 million and now we're over 2 million. So if you see that managing your business is going to help to grow your business, it becomes easier to spend that $25 a week on paid ads and start doing testing.
And I love that your buy-in is so low, that you can start with just a small amount. You're paying it directly to Facebook. You don't have to start with an agency, and then you can start seeing results and then decide if you want to spend more, decide if you want to maybe bring an agency in to help you. But it's really easy to get in and start playing with it. And the other thing is, if people are used to they're designing their advertising, they're designing their catalogs, they put so much thought into it and so much time into it, but social media is fun. And it's meant,
fun. Yes, it should be fun.
It's meant to go quickly.
popular.
And you don't have to overthink it and stop yourself from doing it because it's not perfect and not professional. Just put a little bit of yourself out there and let people know what you're doing, what you're enjoying, what you love about what you do for a living, about being part of the Sacramento community.
Yeah, and talk about some of the best marketing that we do is when companies are joining nonprofits and supporting them. I want to work with a company that supports community. And if you talk about it, if you say, I donated $250 to this nonprofit, and here's me and the person, it shows that I'm invested in community, and it's some of the best advertising I could ever get, because it shows that we're really invested in community. Our tagline is Designs for Social Change, and that means that we have to show up. And by showing up, we want to show people that we did. That's the magic.
And some people worry that they're going to seem like they're showing off or exploiting the cause for their own good. But you know what? You're helping the cause too. Every cause that we participate in, they want us to post that we're there, because then other people will be there too. Other people will want to jump in and participate also because they see that we're participating.
Yeah,
so it's win-win for them. And remember that with the companies that you collaborate with as well. We had a client who ran a shredding service. Well, they shredded coffee cups that were biodegradable to then go and be biodegraded. So we posted about that, including pictures of those coffee cups and what a great company that coffee company was. And sure enough, that coffee company, who had way more followers than our shredding company, shared all of those posts. And look what we do together.
All right, everyone, I really want to thank you for joining us. And I hope you got a couple of tips and tricks that are going to help you with your social media. Get in there and do it, and keep doing it, and learn as you go. And next time we can go into Facebook ads a little bit deeper. Thank you so much for joining us.
Don't be shy about emailing me if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next
year. Everyone. If I will be sending an email to share all the contact information that you guys shared on this, and I'll put a link to the YouTube video. So that should come out tonight.
Wave. I'm going to take a picture. Everybody wave. Come on. There. Thank you.
Would you share that
doing
picture?
Good social media.
I'm going to post that.
Will you share it with me too, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I'll post it too.
Okay,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.